Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today, before we start our chapter 1, I will introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Faris bin Haji Ahmad. I am the lecturer for this subject. So today we will focus on chapter 1, which is an introduction to fitness and healthy lifestyle. So next slide. Learning outcome for the student is student able to understand about fitness and healthy lifestyle, and student able to demonstrate the fitness and healthy lifestyle activity. Next slide. We focus on chapter 1.3, which is principle of training. Okay, so basically principle of training. In this subject, we are focusing on 11 components, which is frequency, volume, duration, rest and recovery, reversibility, individuality, variation, sequence, timing, balance, and fun. So why we need a principle of training? Basically, the principles of training is important and with the purpose for safety and effectiveness. So we go to the first principle, which is frequency. Basically, what is frequency? Frequency is referring to the how uh, how frequent you involve in training. 2 days per either 2 days per week, 3 days per week, or 4 days per week. Basically, for high performance athlete, they will get involved in training 5 to 7 days per week. Okay, but for recreational participants, normally they will involve in training or physical activity is 2 up to 4 days per week. Okay. So next is volume, amount of work performed in a training session dependent upon type of training. So it is summation of sets, okay, how many sets that you perform, repetition, reps, intensity, duration, and frequency equals to volume. So let's say you want to perform a bicycle, 3 set, 10 repetition, um, for 50 to 70% of intensity. For duration is about one hour per session. So the total of these uh, uh, elements will make up to the volume of training. And then the third one is the duration. So how long you get involved in training per session. Basically for cardiovascular training, we will involve in that type of training around 35 to 45 minutes. Okay, so as example here, I've been recommend to train between 35 to 45 minutes for aerobic capacity equal to um, cardiovascular endurance activity for 10 to 11 weeks for ultimate adaptation. Okay, uh, and then we move on to the principle of rest and recovery. Basically, this principle is needed for to allow the body to recuperate and regenerate after training. But the rest and recovery should depend on the type of training, what type of training that you get involved, the intensity of training, low, medium, or high, objective of training to improve cardiovascular, to improve strength, and so on, fitness level, either you a high performance athlete or recreational participants, muscle, big or small muscle, and then energy utilization. Basically, uh, when uh, when you rest more, if you rest uh, more than 72 hours, your strength will going down lah. Okay, example here, rest between 48 to 72 hours is in resistance training is recommended. So for if you get involved in resistance training, so you are recommended to rest at least 48 to 72 hours. But if you rest too long, you will lose your strength. Okay. So next is reversibility. Okay, as I mentioned before, if you rest more than 72 hours, so your muscle start to lose. After here, it said that 72 to 46 hours of no strength training. So make sure you will continue your training session after you get enough rest and recovery. And then individuality. So in principle of training, you have to extra careful in terms of individuality, even though you are playing in team sport. So example here, you have to concern about their age, individual age, because uh, it might be different of adaptation between 19 years old athlete with 40 years old athlete. Okay, gender, male and female, fitness level, high or low, training goal, training experience. Okay, so individuality is a specific training consideration and prescription to individual differences. So if you can look at here, for we have three individual players here, Datuk Azizul Hasniawang, Datuk Lee and Datuk Nicole David. And then we have a team player here, Datuk Mohtadari. So it might be different. So for Datuk Mohtadari, it might be different lah. Okay, even though he is playing in a sport, team sport, right? And then variation. Why we need a variation or variety in our training session? Because to avoid bored and to have fun. Example, when you are playing soccer, so let's say once a week you have you need to do some variation in terms of soccer training. Example, in a week, maybe one day you can take players to do some swimming session, to do some hiking, to play other sports such as volleyball and so on lah. So principle of variation is important to avoid boredom and to have fun. Then sequence is you train step by step. Okay. Example, for resistance training, you train for big muscle and then follow to small muscle. You do a general warming up in training session. You do a general warming up. You progress to specific warming up. You do a main activity and you proceed to the cooling downs. But in training, you need a sequence, step by step, to avoid injury and then to have an adaptation towards your body. And then timing. So the timing of your training should be uh, what we say suitable time to train, to make sure that a players gain what do you expect from them. Okay. Okay, and then balance. Example, balance is you train. Let's say you train upper body, then you have to train your lower body. So here we are applying principles of yin and yang. Example, you train for agonist muscle, and then you have to train for your antagonist muscle. Agonist, example, bicep, antagonist for tricep. So you have to train both area, upper, lower, agonist, antagonist, left, right, to make sure your muscle develop, growth, uh, balance. Okay. Okay, and then for sure lah, every training session you have to make sure that the players, the athlete, uh, have fun. They have to love their respective sport to make sure they have fun. So when you design or coaches want to design a training program, coaches have to make sure at least the players enjoy the session, or else they can make the training session more challenging. Okay, so if the training is more challenging, um, directly it will give some extra enjoyment to the players to get involved or to participate in the training. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.